What is up, everybody? Welcome to a new year. It's already here to a new year here at Northwoods TCG. So, thank you, everybody that's joining in the chat. Of course, we're just starting out. Just going to kind of break down the new year number one for this live stream for the first one to kick it off. Number two thing that I did want to talk about, of course, is where do we look like we're going when it comes down to Pokemon in 2024. Just put the poll up there. I was kind of curious how many people I might have irritated, because I did see two people unsubscribe to the channel when my when my title went up, which is kind of interesting. On this video, on this live, the second I set it up, you can see who's already liked it and stuff like that, or if anybody's been on it. And the funny thing is the two people left the channel because of it. But as people know about me, I tend to have a little bit of humor. It's sometimes a lot of fun just to enjoy yourselves when it comes down to, the hobby. In general, the title itself is just kind of fun. The Year of the Charizard. Now, I just kind of find it funny that the Year of the Charizard is really just kind of funny, because we are starting the year off with a brand new Charizard, of course. Pokemon's big drop in, going for it once again with Charizard. But in general, I don't think that there's going to be very many Charizards this year. At least I hope not. In general, I hope that we start seeing a reduction in Charizards. It seems like we've got consistent sets over and over and over again. And to be 100% honest, if the title, The Year of the Charizard, Pokemon 2024, really is the point where you unsubscribe to the channel, you're probably already on the fence anyways. So, but no, I just wanted to, I'm just put that poll up. I was just curious to know, what people were at, what people thought. Once again, we are starting off the Year of the Charizard. Is it a bad Charizard? I don't know. It's really going to depend on the pull rates, the difficulty of the pull rates, and where that goes when it comes down to Paldean Fates. Paldean Fates looks like it's going to be fairly decent, and I don't know, it might be fun to open. Once again, it's just another shiny set. We're falling into Hidden Fates 3.0, and the overall performance of it's going to be really interesting. It's going to come down to reprints, I think, on that set more than anything else when it comes down to it. So, once again, that's just kind of the title, and it's just kind of funny. I just hope that we're done with Charizard reprints. We've seen so many Charizards in the last year that it's just kind of ridiculous. But I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge the chat here before we really get into things. Like I said, typically I do a 20-25 minute rant, and then we'll kick into the comments for anybody that's got questions or anything like that. So, we got Darth. Thank you for joining. Thanks for joining in the chat. Mr. Walrus, thanks for joining. New year, new me. I'll make money this year. I keep saying that too, but I never make money in Pokemon. I don't know why. FOMO, of course, thanks for joining once again. Greatly appreciated. Basic Trainer in the house. Thank you, Basic, for joining in. Once again, like Dart just said, let's hope this year's Charizards aren't reprints either. Yeah, I know. I mean, even this year they started off, they made it look like a reprint originally, but thank goodness it is different than all the other Charizards. It looks like the one that's in the Paldean Fates tin, the Charizard tin, is a pretty much copy of the one from Obsidian Flame, the full art from Obsidian Flame, which is okay. I mean, I can get that. That's all right. Let me see. Mr. Wallace, the Year of Bidoof. Just wait for March, y'all. Yeah. I'm curious to see what comes in this new set. Like you just said, March is where we're going to see the new expansion come in. We should be seeing announcements for that pretty quick. Paldean Fates is coming out here in a couple weeks, so we should be seeing some announcements on the new expansion. Typically, when the when this set gets released, the next set's being announced. So, once again, it's just one of those things that continues to move forward that direction. It's going to be really interesting to see what comes of that expansion. I have not had time to check out Japan. It's probably been announced in Japan, or should be, because they should be getting it here rather soon. Probably in February for them and end of March for us. Overall, like I said, thanks guys. Thanks everybody. My little rant's just going to pretty much pertain to next year coming up in 2024. What are we seeing in Pokemon and also in the channel? For the channel itself, I do want to start expanding back to trying to get 3 videos a week and 1 live, or doing 2 shorts and 2 videos and a live. It just depends on time frame. I got away from 3 videos, and it really hasn't hurt the channel very much. But I would like to see a little bit more growth. My goal this year was that by March, technically, because I try and go by my anniversary. I always have like a first goal of hitting at like the first of the year. If I can hit it there, it's just a bonus for me. But really, March 1st, February 27th. So I just go by March 1st as the the anniversary of the channel, I would like to try and get as close to 5,000 subs as I can. So I'm really starting to try and push for that. In 2 months, the chances of me getting, 850 subs is probably slim to none, unless something really pops off or something really changes where people are really excited about Pokemon again and in the investment side. So that's one thing that I have had a goal set, is that I was going to try and make 5,000 this year. I'm probably not going to do that on the channel this year, but that's okay. It is what it is. The channel's I'm happy with it. The people that are in the channel, of course, are fantastic. Overall, I really do enjoy the community that I've built, and we have really good conversations overall. And I also do like joining people outside of the channel also and having discussions about Pokemon. There's always people that are looking for information on Pokemon. So once again, we're going to continue to do live every Tuesday. That's set. That works well with my wife, and I have been wanting to do more lives, do more of this, up front with you guys and actually having the conversation. Sorry if I made you go deaf by hitting my mic. And having more conversations with people in the chat. What you guys are looking at, questions that you might be having, and things that you might be dealing with is always good information. And I do want to continue to do that. I do want to try and strive. We're going to keep 2 videos a week no matter what. So, we're going to be releasing Wednesday and Friday as always. I want to try and get back to that Monday slot. I was going to try and do it here at the first of the year. I didn't get the editing done. I ran out of time that week. So, it's still something I'm striving for. We'll see if we can do it. If not, I want to start throwing in some shorts just to expand. The more expansion I do on content, the more visibility I get. So, once again, it's just one of the things that we're going to have to continue to grow on that and continue to move forward. The other thing on the channel, too, is that I want to bring back the Choose Your Path series. I talked about that with Josh on Josh's live that one night, is that this year's goal is to try at least do 12 Choose Your Path series. I want to try and do them at least once a month. That's the starting out goal. I'm going to start putting feelers out. I do have someone for January, and so Pokemon Wonder already agreed that he would come on. We're just going to set up a date one of the Tuesdays here, hopefully, that we can make that work. So he'll probably be the first person back on the Choose Your Path series. And then I've got a couple other feelers that I want to be working with, but I'm gonna leave those until we do the one with Pokemon Wonder, and I'll kind of try to announce the next one or the next possible 2. That way people know where the path is going and what's going to happen. I do want to start trying to do that at least once a month. That's my goal. I would like to get 2 a month. That would be the ultimate goal, is to get the Choose Your Path down to 2 a month. I think that'd be fantastic for the community, just to have that knowledge, to have that growth, especially with times changing. Things have changed since 2022 and 2023 into 2024, and the knowledge that people have and the experiences that people are having and how they put that out there for people to use to better themselves is definitely a great thing and a great cause. That's always been my biggest thing on this channel, is I would like to make it partially a place where people can just get good information from a lot of sources to maybe help themselves decide what direction they want to go in this hobby. Because there's a lot of places you can go. You can go strictly collecting. You can go into singles. You can go into graded. You can go into sealed. I mean, you could just strictly go into gameplay. And I'm actually trying to find someone that would want to come on and talk about gameplay. I think that that's another aspect that a lot of times channels, especially on the investment side or the collecting side, just don't talk about it. But it's a huge part of the hobby. It is the hobby. That's what the hobby is built on, is the actual playability of the sets and the cards themselves. And that can also drive the overall pricing on the market, on what becomes popular and what doesn't. And that's a big factor also. So it gives you a little bit of an insight into that area. So that's another goal this year, is to try and get someone, or at least one, if not 2 people from the gameplay side of things actually onto the channel and having a discussion. So there's a couple different ventures that I'm really trying to work on this year to try and improve the channel content. Overall, my other goals, I hit my goal on TikTok, of course, trying to get to that 1,000 this year. So we did manage to do that. And then also on Instagram, we did cross the 1,250 mark. So I didn't set my goals very high on those 2, just because I do put a lot of effort into here. TikTok did get a little bit of my effort this year, just because I did want to get that sales and that availability to go live, just to have a sales outlet. Once again, I'm building, like we talk about, like Rattle. I don't know if anybody's watched Rattle's live yesterday, and he even put it in there at one point, where at this point in time, make your first sale. Start selling something. Start selling things. If you got duplicates, if you're not as into it as you were when you first bought it, if you're starting to look at different directions, start selling things. Because when it comes down to 2024, you're going to need sales outlets at some point in time. If you're buying sealed product, if you're buying single, if you're buying graded cards, at some point in time, you're going to need sales venues. You're going to need places to go with your sales stuff. And that's a big thing. I've been saying that for 2 years, but now I'm really, really thinking it's something that people really need to do. There are a lot of people that are just stocking up on stuff and making large commitments towards seal product or towards singles or, even getting graded done. But if you don't have an outlet for those things, if you're not building those sales platforms to be able to benefit from that, it becomes kind of a moot point to have all this stock. If you've got a huge stock of stuff, but yet you haven't built sales outlets, you're not taking advantage of everything that's available to you on the sales side of things. You need to start building those. You need to start getting some traffic to yourselves. TCG Player. Build a TCG Player account. It's free. Set it up. Put some stuff on there. Even if it doesn't sell right away, at least put some things on there. Even if you sell, brawl or just commons, uncommons, even look through use Limitless TCG and find out the commons and uncommons, the trainers that are doing extremely well for sales, and just throw them out there. You got them as bulk. I mean, I got a pile of bulk here I got to go through again. But if you have that bulk, start selling it. Even if it's not something you're necessarily treasuring, but you're just opening packs and you got bulk, sell it. It gives you an outlet for futuristically to go to. If you need to sell a single, you can always go to TCG Player. And if you get those star ratings, sometimes as you get higher star ratings and as you get better ratings, as you continue to do sales on there, and even if it's, 20 to 30 a month of just common and uncommon cards, at least you're building something that you can have a reputation on in order to have that sales platform. Same thing with TikTok, like with what I'm working on. It's a lot of work. You got to start building that up. You got to get a following. You got to get people that start working with you to continue to build that community and build those sales avenues. And people see the ratings that you're doing, and they put in comments like on my product ratings, great shipping, timely fashion, product as described, products in great condition, packaging was done perfectly to protect. All these things are very important overall, because even when I go and buy things, those are things that I look for. Those are the important things when it comes down to your sales market. So just my little soapbox right now when it comes down to what you should be looking at in 2024. I think it's a big factor. I think it's something that a lot of people oversight, and when they need to sell things and when those sales things come up here in 2024, 2025, even a little bit further down the road, you're going to find yourself pinched because you didn't think of those things. You didn't look at getting those sales platforms, and you were holding things because you didn't feel as comfortable selling, or you didn't want to sell things. But at some point, you're going to need to, or going to want to, and you need to build those avenues to do so, whether it's TCG Player, eBay, wherever you want to go, TikTok, Instagram. There's some people have very, very good sales careers on Instagram itself. They just sell through their Instagram sites. They list things continuously, and they get the sales in from those, and they build that reputation around themselves. They get those followers. They get those people constantly commenting that their sales are great or their opportunities are great inside of them. So there's several different ways you could do that. There's several different ways you can look at this, but definitely start building some of them. At this point in time, we're a little bit slower. If you got some stock, now's a good time to just take some time, because we're not in a huge rush. Everything doesn't need to be purchased right now to keep up with it. You can take your time, cool your jets, and just kind of sit there and scan the market. And the one other thing is that this is coming also from PK, and it's a thing that I've been talking about for the last year, is he's been kind of pushing it, and I'm going to push it too. Become liquid. If you are literally looking at investment and you're looking at the future in 2024, the more liquid you become with your assets, the more liquid you become with your investments, overall, that's going to be a very big help to you in the future. Is it now the time to buy necessarily when sets are released, or when things first come out and everything is just getting put on the table? Is that the best time to buy these sets? If I would have done that with Scarlet and Violet, Obsidian Flame, and all these other ones, I'd still be upside down today. If you would have bought Scarlet and Violet during the whole, booster boxes were tough to find, and Scarlet and Violet came out and you bought it at 120, which was like the lowest price at that point in time, to 115, and you bought a case, you're going to be sitting on that for a long period of time. And that's a big factor. You don't want to be getting that solid, rock-hard money that you can't sell without a loss. You don't want to put yourself in that position in 2024. Making smart investment decisions, buying booster boxes at their lows, taking your time and watching the markets and trending on things that you think will be successful in the future are going to be a big factor to the overall health of your portfolio and your overall health to you in general when it comes down to your growth in the Pokemon TCG. So once again, I think that these are all big factors going into 2024 and how overall we could be seeing these things hamper you or help you when it comes down to your overall investment and also your sellability. Keep yourself liquid. If you need to sell some things now while they're a little bit up and start buying more liquid items, definitely do so. It's not bad to just sit there and watch. I will say 2024, when it came to newer products, I really didn't purchase very many things. I purchased a couple Obsidian Flames with the TikTok deals. I purchased a couple Scarlet Violets. I purchased a few, all these different sets, but I didn't buy them right on release. I didn't buy them at a high point. I took my time and really brought the timing in right to purchase them as close to that low point as I can. And by doing so, you can create that liquidity inside of there, because if you buy it at that low point when the booster boxes dip down to $70, or if you use that TikTok coupon or eBay specials that are going on for Black Friday, you can get that 20% liquidity inside of there, which means you can sell it on any site and still have value in those particular products. So these are all big things that you need to be looking at in 2024. It's not going to be fast money. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be timing more than anything at this point in time, and waiting for the best opportunities to buy, and definitely look at the best opportunities to purchase things at their lows to give yourself the liquidity to be able to sell that when you need to. Or if you do want to hold it for long term, at least get the best value for your dollar. There's not this rush. There's not this concern that you're not going to be able to find any of the newer sets. They're easy to find. You can go to any Walmart right now and buy any Scarlet and Violet set that you want in cardboard sleeve blisters with no problem. There is nothing that's actually not available. I can go to my store right now. I can get them all. Even Pokemon 151 is sitting on my Walmart shelf right now. So there's no drawback currently to waiting. There's no reason that you need to just jump in with everything you got and tie up all your money and then get stuck on these particular things. Because even Walmart now is selling, Scarlet and Violet booster boxes or booster cardboard blisters, and also Sword and Shield ones at $374. They were $498 just 3-4 months ago. Now they're $375 a pack. That's a huge savings right there. So if you were buying those cardboard blisters before, you're already lost some value in those because of the fact that Walmart's selling them so cheap. So once again, we are seeing a lot of product available. There's a lot of things around. You don't need to rush and jump into everything as soon as it comes out available now. In 2024, it's not going to change. I don't see anything in 2024 currently that's going to make this market just go crazy and explode. I think that there will be those promos. I think that Pokemon Center promos, if they do new ones, there's a really good chance that those will do really well. We've seen really good value in those. If you can get those promos, if you can get in line and not have to fight with the bots and be able to get promos from Pokemon Center, I think that there's some really good value in those. And those may be things you want to put money into right away to try and get those promos that are actually doing extremely well. And these are all things that you're going to learn, that are going to change, that are going to make it in this hobby. Current set releases, probably not a big rush. Am I going to go rush out right now and buy Paldean Fates by the box loads? No, I'm not going to buy that many of them. To me, there's plenty of opportunity to buy Paldean Fates. If they end up being like Shining Fates and Hidden Fates, it's going to get reprinted several times. Hidden Fates got reprinted 4 times. Shining Fates got reprinted 5 times. There has been no shortage of either one of those. The only difference is Hidden Fates went through the boom and people just ate that up. And even ETBs, when Hidden Fates came out, disappeared off the shelf extremely fast. A lot of people, even myself, was very, very disappointed that I could never find an ETB of Hidden Fates. I ended up buying Raichu boxes. A lot of Raichu boxes. But that's ancient history. The ETBs continue to go off the shelf extremely fast. Shining Fates, they reprinted more and more and more of it, and as we went out of the boom, that stuff sat around. And once again, these are all very important aspects when you're going forward to keep in consideration. And like I said, certain things, they're going to pop off. There's going to be great things. If you miss it, you can't get the opportunity. Your computer locks up on Pokemon Center, and you can't get that value or get that Pokemon promo for free with the purchase of something else. It doesn't mean that it's the end of the world. There'll be next opportunity. And that's the great thing about this hobby is we say it over and over and over again. You hear a lot of bigger channels always say this. there's always the next opportunity. Mason loves to say it too. If Mason's hiding in the chat or hiding out there listening, he always likes to say it. What's the next? What's the best? What's going to be the hottest set? The next one. The next one's always the hottest set if you talk to anybody, right? We hear everybody hyping up the next set. Leonhardt hypes up the next set. PokeRep hypes up the next set. It's always the next set. So there's always the next opportunity coming forward. And in 2024, that's going to become a big factor overall when it comes down to your investments. How you do things are definitely going to have to adjust and change. 2023, the beginning was fun. The end was slow. And that's, to me, what we see at the end of 2023 is probably going to carry over to 2024 unless something extreme happens. And I just don't see it. We'd have to have, like they say, a black swan event. And I don't see that happening in the foreseeable future as of right now. So, once again, take your time. Find out what you want. If you enjoy it, I would spend more time enjoying the cards. People have spent a lot of time just trying to make money in this hobby. And like I've said in another video, if that was your goal, is just to make money in Pokemon, you probably shouldn't be in here very much anymore. If you're looking for that quick flip, if you're looking for that extreme fast cash money grab, that's probably completely gone at this point in time. I mean, promos, yeah, there'll be small little snippets of things that'll have that opportunity. But in general, now's the time to just kind of relax, kind of just let things go, watch, become more vigilant, keep watching what you like and what you think will do well, and then continue to watch it until you see some really good pricing on those. Once again, it's kind of interesting where this is going to go and how this is going to continue to move forward. 2024 is going to be a real interesting year. It's going to be interesting to me, more than anything, how grading companies are going to continue to move forward into this year. All grading companies right now are starting to get beat down a little bit. Even PSA is starting to take some hits on the Pokemon world just because of the fact that we got people talking about they damage cards, but they don't want you to talk about it. We've got them damaging cards on a consistent basis, and they're continually having a problem there. I think the other problem is that a lot of people are starting to lose value in those particular cards. I'm hearing more and more people and more rumblings coming through that overall people are having less confidence in that 10. They're realizing, I think more people are realizing that it's more of an arbitrary number than an actual assessed value. PSA 10s can either come with damage or not damage, and they can still have 10s. They can have whitening. CGC will play the game where if they know who you are, they'll give you a better grade. Like we saw, no offense, Pokemon Radar. I enjoy Pokemon Radar. I think John over there does a really good job. But the fact is that he sent that Illustrator Pikachu to CGC. There's no way that's a 10. After watching a Possum Buds video and watching the breakdown on that from a couple other, there's no way. That Illustrator Pikachu, even on CGC levels, should not be a 10. There's whitening on the edges. There's damage on the edges. We can't really see the hollow all that well in the pictures, but in general, the amount of issues we're seeing, it's a 9.5 at best, a 9 more than likely. So, once again, these are all things that are going to continue to break down that grading company. Now, are people going to pay for the grade? Of course they are. I don't think that that's ever going to go away. People want that arbitrary number on top of that card, and as long as they get that arbitrary number on there and they can buy that 10 that fits their collection, they're going to do it, and they're going to buy it, and they just really don't care. But even myself, I keep feeling like grading is just a way for these grading companies to make money. They're going to release so many 10s, no matter what. We have that, the Pikachu of the Gray Felt Hat. How many 10s have I seen now on eBay for sale with corner damage? But they're giving them 10s because if they gave them all 9s for corner damage, less people would use them and they'd go to CGC or they would go to Beckett to try and get that higher grade, hoping that they'd let it go. So once again, it's not so much necessarily always looking at the quality of the cards as we need to release so many 10s so people keep coming to us. If they don't get that, then they're not going to come to me. And that's already that's a thing. And I think that that's going to come more to a head here in 2024. Once again, as things get tight, as the economy changes, as the Pokemon climate continues to change and kind of come into a normalized market, and things seem to be just moving along based on market values and actually on people's perception of something rather than hype and FOMO of this person telling us it's great and everybody buying it, I think that we're going to start to see that realization and that the grading really start to see some effects of that. So once again, that's my rant. And like I said, I think 2024 is going to be a decent year. I still think that there's going to be some great opportunities coming forward. I would keep my eye on Paldean Fates. I wouldn't go out and buy it right away, like bulk up on it immediately right off the bat. I would let it go for a little bit because we know we're going to get reprints of it. I'm sure we're going to hear announcements for Pokemon 151 reprints here in the near future. I mean, we just got ETBs and sounds like six-pack bundles coming out. But I think in general, I think that we will be seeing more Pokemon 151. We still have a little bit out before we have that. And once again, I think that there's some really good opportunities coming in 2024. It's just going to be very pocketed. It's not going to be like everything. You can't just go and buy an ETB of anything and have the opportunity to make big money on it. It's just not going to happen any longer. And it's definitely going to be interesting to see what pockets do well. And the other factor is where you want to go in order to take the best opportunities at this. Where are you going to be, or where do you want to go, or where is everybody going to change for the hobby? And trying to get ahead of that is probably going to be the better thing. A lot of research, a lot of sitting down and watching people's habits is going to do really well. So once again, guys, that's my rant for today. Thank you, everybody, that stayed through it. This is not going to be the year of the Charizard. I just wanted to partially irritate some people, and like I said, I did irritate too, and that's fine. If that was the final line between you staying with the channel or not, you probably weren't liking the channel all that much anyway. So it was just kind of comical to me. 2 people unsubscribed to the channel, and I'm guessing it's because of the title. Let's be honest, I didn't do anything yet, and it happened right after I published that live. Within an hour and a half of me publishing that live, they were both gone. So just interesting. It was kind of funny that I saw that. But overall, I'm going to kick over to the chat here. Let's see what we got going on with you guys. I see there's been some comments rolling through pretty good. Cough for a minute. Let me see here. We went through basic. Exposed, of course. Pokemon is dying of a slow death. Yeah, it's not. It's just going to a normalized market. I FOMO. He's just answering that. Let's see. I bought 6 151 collection boxes for $73 each and plan to hold them till they are about 300 plus. TikTok deals were crazy. Yeah, and that's just it. I mean, there were some great deals. I did that even on here. Pokemon 151, I was talking about if you use the TikTok deals that were like $83, you could take 20-25% off. That kicked it all the way down to like $50 with free shipping. Like $55 with free shipping. The packs alone inside of there were worth more than that. Even $73 right now on TikTok sales and on TCG Player. The packs are selling for almost $6, $5.50, $6. You're getting 16 packs at that price. You already have value inside of that box right off the bat, and you've done nothing but just buy it. So yeah, the TikTok deals were absolutely astonishing when it came down to the price values that you got with that. I FOMO and yep, nice price. Awesome price. Pokemon Hill, thanks for joining. Promos always do so well. They do. I mean, every promo that's come off, when you're getting it for free, if you can get it from Pokemon Center and you're buying something else and you're getting it for free with your order, you're not doing anything wrong. Overall, you can't go wrong with that value at all right off the bat. And most promos accelerate extremely fast, and they do hold value really well. There isn't a Pokemon Center promo currently that's been released in the last 3 years that hasn't had super value to it overall. I mean, whether it's the, special delivery Pikachu, Charizard, Bidoof, we go to the Squirtle, or even now with the current one that's coming out, they're all doing fantastic in price, and they're just crazy the amount of the built-in value you get by purchasing those particular items. Pokemon, nice Majesty ETB. Yeah, I just pulled that one out of the storage unit. I thought that was kind of cool. So, yeah, I bought this one a while ago. But yeah, Dragon's Majesty ETB. Fun. I've just been going through storage. I've actually been pulling out some of the stuff that I got. I actually have the big box set, and I was trying to figure out how to put that on the shelf. But I don't have a good place to put it. I'm thinking about this year taking down this whiteboard and actually putting shelves all the way across there. And if I do that, I would be able to do that. And then I'll probably move my disaster of cards up over there so you don't see them as much anymore. and get that Dragon's Majesty premium collection box out here. I think that'd be really cool to display. Let me see. We're down to Beefy Tacos CS. Thanks for joining. I'm going all in on Evolution's premium collections promos and products like that. Unique products and amazing promos that people will want down the line, like the XY trio. Exactly. I think that there's going to be some really good value in those kind of things. If you can really go into that and really break that down and look into what's been successful. The bigger, harder problem about it is looking at what was successful before 2020. I think that's going to give you a good direction like that. The XY trio promos. A lot of these promos did really well, but you're going to have to get over that hump. You're going to have to look past 2020. Like I've said before, I've said this so many times. 2020, the end of 2020, all the way to 2023, the beginning of it, it was a complete and total. It was just total craziness all the way through that section. That data has skewed so much of the directions that anybody that was in there during that time now has misdirection. Anybody that can look before that or talk to people that were here prior to that could get better directions for where we're going into now. We're going into that normalized market. And 2019 really had some organic growth. People are joining the hobby because they enjoyed it. Tag team sets, when Team Up came up, was a big success. That's actually what kind of drew me in. As I opened up Team Up with my son, I enjoyed Team Up cards, especially the tag team cards inside of there, and I started playing again on Unbroken Bonds. So, once again, it's those things that drew people in and actually grew a hobby. So why are we not looking at those again? And we saw tag teams, people went back to them again, and tag teams blew up again. We all saw that coming. Well, not all of us, but a lot of people said that about 2 years ago, that tag teams were going to take off. And I've even got videos where I've said tag team sets were going to take off. But it was because it was organic growth at that point. Those actual cards were organic, and they grew on their own. They didn't take a boom to do that. They were the reason the boom happened is that they had started the market going in that upward trajectory. It got it off the ground and got it going up. Hidden Fates was another big catalyst with Cosmic Eclipse right behind it that really did a good job at boosting that market, which led right into the Logan Paul boom. The Logan Paul boom would not have worked if the market was flat or going down. It just would not have done it. The fact that we had organic growth going up to that point is what caused it to actually explode. Kanto Green, is Pancho Pikachu card going to be the biggest gain in Modern? It could be. Either that or the Mario ones are doing really good too. The Mario and Luigi Pikachus are phenomenal also. Ponchos are a lot of fun though. I do enjoy Pancho Pikachus, so they could be. They could be one of the best promos for sure in the modern time. I think there are safer ways to make money other than the race to the bottom. I don't mess with new sets. I don't either. I let them kind of mature now. There's no rush. There's no reason to just jump in on every darn thing that you can and hope for the best and hope that you can get it, open it, get it graded, whatever you're doing, or grab that chase card before the market completely dies. So I don't get into it as much anymore. Like I've said, even on videos, investing videos are really difficult. Because number one, you get a lot of pushback now because people don't like Scarlet and Violet, which is fine. I mean, you don't have to like the generation necessarily yet. But if you're in it long enough and you continue to be here, you're eventually going to get involved with it. I can tell you that right now. You can push, fight, scream all you want right now for the first year, but eventually they'll hit something, a new mechanic, a new card type, a new rarity. They'll come up here probably in the next set potentially. And when that hits, like Josh and I said, when that hits, everybody jumps into the air. So that's when we're going to see a changing point. Is we got to get a new mechanic, or there's going to be a new rarity coming here shortly, and that's going to change something. Like we said, this is EX. Are they going to bring back a Gold Star? A type of Gold Star. Imagine that kind of chase. That would be awesome, in my opinion, to see Gold Stars back, or a version of them. Beefy Taki CS, do you agree with Rudy's prediction that they will short print one of the upcoming sets like they have done multiple times historically? I believe so. I think it's a matter of time we're going to see short prints, because they did, I wouldn't say it was even short printing, but they're going to starve the market of a popular set. So we need to look ahead, and that's where, once again, that rarity thing might be the reason to do it. Tin Hat conspiracy is that when they get a new rarity, there's going to be a new drive. When there's a new drive, you starve the market a little bit, and people want something, so they buy other things, right? It's a good way to clean out the market and clean the pipes, is create a false shortage. We see all kinds of companies doing that. That's a new thing to do. Car companies create false shortages. Trailer companies create false shortages. Furnace companies create false shortages because they can't make circuit boards, but yet we can still get them on our warranty stuff. So once again, it's just one of those things that's going to continue to be interesting to see how that continues to move out. But once again, it's definitely a possibility. They've done it before. That's tin hat conspiracy stuff right there, but I could definitely see it happening. Adrina, thanks for joining. I just started investing in a Pokemon right when 151 came out, just like other individuals I've been talking to. So, question for you. What is your opinion on modern Pokemon Center ETBs? I've seen older sets like Fusion Strike stay in Pokemon Center for a while, but newer sets get sold out within a few weeks or days. So we've had this discussion. So Pokemon Center ETBs are by far the best thing right now coming from Scarlet and Violet. Overall value, everything else is going up extremely well. The issue that I have, in my one word of caution, is I think that they're really good. I think that they're a great investment currently. Overall, I think they're going to be great investments. The one word of caution that I have to them, and they didn't reprint some of Sword and Shield, but when they did start reprinting, they reprinted a ton of it. That's why Fusion Strike stood out. Fusion Strike was actually gone for almost a year off of Pokemon Center. And then they reprinted it. And then it was available, and it's still available. Same thing with Brilliant Stars. They did the exact same thing. It was sold out extremely fast, but then 6 months later, 7 months later, they reprinted it. So they did start reprinting Pokemon Center ETBs and keeping them available on the Pokemon Center website. They have not done that with Scarlet and Violet to date. Does that mean that they won't? No. So as of right now, as an investment, I think they're good if you can buy them off Pokemon Center. Would I be buying them off the secondary market right now? No. I personally would not be buying them off the secondary market. Like I said, the top 5 products, 3 of them were Pokemon Center ETBs. But I would be very, very leery of Pokemon practices, because if they see a demand and they see a price increase, it takes nothing for them to print the outside of that box again. It really doesn't. So to sit there and really jump in and say, yes, they're a great investment, buying them off the secondary market, be really cautious. You could maybe buy 1 or 2 at that secondary market price just to hedge your bets. But I would be very cautious, because Pokemon's history and trends is that they may reprint it. It took a long time before we saw Fusion Strike come back. The only 2 that they did not reprint, to my knowledge, is the Evolving Skies ETBs, or Pokemon Center ETBs, and the Chilling Reign ETBs, Pokemon Center ETBs. Those are the only 2 that I know of, and the Chilling Reign one were a disaster. So if people who were here then know that history, there's supposed to be the extra packs inside of it, so you're supposed to get the extra 2 packs, and they forgot to put them in. So the actual Chilling Reign ones that we have, I have them actually up there, is they have 2 packs missing, even though the outside says you're supposed to get 10. I believe they only have 8. So they got the 2-pack sleeves that come with them too, that they sent with the V cards of the legendary birds, the Galarian legendary birds, and then the 2 packs that you were missing. So as they were shipped later. So once again, word of caution. They're doing great. They look like a great investment. They look like they've done extremely well. I don't think I would necessarily go and jump on them on the secondary market. Yeah. If you wanted to hedge your bets, I would maybe buy 1 or 2. I would keep very, 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 very down to earth with it and see where it goes. At least that way you hedge your bets, and if they do continue to go up and they don't get a reprint, then you're in. You got something. But I'm very leery about it. It kind of worries me on that fact. Andy Hale, thanks for joining, Andy. It's been a while. Nice to see ya. Yes, grading is turning into a racket. It seems like it. My FOMO, let's see. Beefy Taco CS. They aren't short printing anything since RC. We'll see. I guess that they haven't done it yet, but word of caution. Pokemon will do things like that to try and clear the pipes. Let's see here. Remember when they screwed you on the... Yeah, I know. I wasn't too happy about that. And now it's got damage on it, Andy. I looked at the images going in and what's on there now, and while I broke it out of the thing, it's a binder card for me. Because, yeah, it already has damage on it. So it has damage on it that wasn't on their intake pictures either. So Yeah, it was kind of upsetting on that fact that when I broke it out of the case, all of a sudden I could see the damage, and I broke it out, and there was damage on that upper edge, kind of where everybody else has been getting an issue. So yeah, I'm probably a victim of it, but I'm just really not willing to go and chase after it. Good evening, Grim the Nerd. Thank you for joining once again. Glad to see you in the chat. iFOMO short printing, I would say look at 151. It's possible. They really haven't printed a ton of 150, but 151 is still available pretty easily. You can still find it around, even in the wild at MSRP. So I don't think that they've really short printed that, especially with the UPC counts and things like that. They actually had a lot. Grim the Nerd pre-ordered 2 boxes of Pokemon Center, Pale Day, and Fates. I'll probably just sit on those. I got 2 of them also, or I actually got 4 of them. So I might open one just because I kind of want the sleeves and that inside of it, and I want to get the promo out of it. But I think I'll probably sit on the other 3 just because I think it's going to be a really sweet set. Overall, it looks really, really nice. That ETB looks really, really hot, so I think it's going to be really nice to have in the future. iFOMO, let's see what happens to the new shiny set. It's going to be interesting to see, just in general. 151 heavily printed. They are still pumping out ETBs. Yeah, they are. I don't know if they're pumping out UPCs. I think that that's just the original. They printed a ton of them to start out. Nowhere near the Charizard UPC, in my opinion, from what I've seen so far, unless they've still got a ton hidden back. But there's still plenty of them coming out, for sure. There's still plenty available in general. We have the Nerd, lots of 151 coming out still. Yeah, there's plenty of 151 coming out. Like I said, ETBs are still coming out. The 6-pack bundles, I saw them, got re-released. MJ Holding just put them out on the shelf at Walmart. So I picked up 4 of them. The Year of Roaring Moon. I think so. Roaring Moon's a really sweet looking card. That's Salamence. Ancient Salamence. Let's just call it that way. They should stop printing. Yeah, they should. Danny, thanks for joining, Danny. Oh, MC, thanks for joining. I read your comment, but I didn't acknowledge you. But thanks for joining the chat. Danny, if it does not look like a 10, just do not buy it. Simple. Yeah. Don't send it for grading. I mean, you can use the binder collection you're selling as raw. I think you're going to see a lot of 9s, 8s, and 7s disappear off the market because I think people are going to crack them because they sell more expensive than raws as a raw than they do as a 9, an 8, or a 7. So you're going to see people buy those, crack them, and sell them as a raw. Why not? I mean, you're going to make money, value in those, especially if you get an 8. Just crack it. Get rid of it. There's no point in sitting on it. NC, I wouldn't say short print a set per se, but I'm sure there will be another great set at some point in SV, kind of like Evolving Skies in SS. It's very possible. So if Pokemon can't get it together and can't come up with a great set, if they can't get away from their Charizard craze right now and move on to something else, I could see them short printing something to try and get things back in. The one thing, I think it's time, and I really do, and let me know in the comments below. Let me know in the comments. Do you think it's time? They need to come out with new evolutions. There are a ton of different typings that aren't available out there now. I think it's time to start looking at that. I think it would be really, really good to do so. Let's see. Where are we at? Lost track of it. Here we go. Oh, hey, Andy Hill. Hey, I have the Gengar plushie. Wish I had the Champions Path behind. I have so much Champions Path right now. I've been slowly selling it on TikTok. I've been doing box breaks and then selling ETBs. So that's why it's in here, is it actually does sell really well on TikTok. So it's fun. Get to open it up, take some shots at it, and see what you can find for Champions Path. Definitely trying to find that Charizard. It'd be fun to pull one of the 2 Charizards out of one of them boxes. So yeah, I've got the plushie behind me right here, and then I've got the marshmallow over here on the shelf. Let's see. Yeah, Evolving Skies 2.0. Definitely, I don't put it out of the realm of possibilities. I could definitely see them doing a Shining Fates 2.0 for sure. Or Shining Fates, sorry. We're already at that. I could definitely see them doing an Evolving Skies 2.0. I definitely think that there's a market for it. EVs are huge. Evolutions are huge. And I definitely think that there's a great market overall for Evolving Skies style cards, especially with those EVs. Let's see, Mr. Walrus. I predict Van Gogh Pikachu was going to take off. I'm glad I didn't pay. Get a hold. You know, the problem with the Van Gogh is that they got really confusing on it, and you wanted to jump in on it, but you weren't sure, so you kind of backed off. You know, like Dan Catchball Collectibles and I both kind of said is that it's a 50-50 chance. That's one of them opportunities. You know, what I sit there and talk about. I could have jumped in on it. I probably could have fought through Pokemon Center. I probably could have gotten a few of them by doing different things. I got one of them from a friend, and that was good enough for me. You know, what the market does is what the market does. If you miss the opportunity, I'm waiting for the next one. There'll be another one. I'm not too concerned about it. When it comes down to those promos, there'll be something else coming in the near future. But yeah, the problem is, Walrus, you still haven't paid your rent, because if you bought them, I'm sure you're still holding on to them. So that's also a smart little, small little issue. MC. Let's see. Yep. Works for me, iPhone. Okay, he's answering him. Beefy Tacos, yes. I got cold feet and sold 2 out of the 3 I had. I feel like I'll be able to buy the dip in this January when they re-releases. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of opportunities to buy back those. MC, I wouldn't pass up a good deal on new sets though. I just got a few cases of Paradox Rift at $80 per box yesterday. Seems like a no-brainer. Yeah, once again, MC, that's what I'm talking about. You didn't have to buy Paradox Rift at the release. So even Sword and Shield, I bought Lost Origins, I bought Silver Tempest, I bought Brilliant Stars, I bought Astral Radiance at release, and the prices I paid at release around that 100 to 105, they've never gone below that. That is the end of Sword and Shield era. In Scarlet and Violet, it hasn't been the case. If you bought them at release at 115, 110, 125, you're still not back to those prices. It's gone the complete opposite. We're back to early Sword and Shield at this point, where we see that drop. You buy booster boxes around $75 to $80, and then you let them go, and you wait a year or two, and the prices continue to kind of migrate up. And that's a big factor when it comes down to it. Kanto Green, please sell me your Poncho. You are dead set on my Poncho Pikachus. No, I'm not selling them, man. I only got one of the 2 types. I FOMO. Paradox Rift is a great Paradox Rift, Paldea Evolve. Right now, those are 2 best sets, besides main sets, expansions for the Pokemon TCG in Scarlet and Violet, hands down. I still personally like Paldea Evolve a little bit better. I think that they have a little bit better artwork personally, but in general, I definitely think Paradox Rift is definitely my second. I have quite a bit of that set too, and I've purchased here recently at like $81 the booster box and some at $79. So once again, right around that $80. I'm not unhappy with that price. I think that's a really good buy-in for that particular set. Let's see here. Am I the only one who liked this video? No, there's about 10, 11 likes right now. So no, you're not the only one. There's been a few. Let's see. Yeah, I buy some every set. But more heavily weighted toward. So yeah, you're right where I am, MC. I enjoy both of those sets. Screw Obsidian Flame. Obsidian Flame's going to be interesting to see how well it performs overall. I'm not buying a ton of it. I bought a couple of them with the TikTok sales at around $62 to $63 a box with the shipping to my place. So it's worth the gamble and the shot at it. But like you said, I wouldn't be sinking a ton into it. I think that set's going to sit for quite a while. But it did become playable. So people are using the Charizard EX decks. That might be a factor too. We did see a little price bump there where it went back up to the mid-90s and now it's kind of tailing off again. So I don't know how long that's going to stand and how long it's going to be playable. That's going to be factors for how well overall it's going to continue to do. I FOMO. I think Paldea and 151 are best so far. Yeah, my 2 favorite right now as a holiday set would be 151 and Paldea Evolved for the expansion. Those are my 2 favorite currently. Let's see, MC. I'm going to stop ordering ETBs from Pokemon Center. I had to get a refund by my CC company for the Paradox Rift ETBs. Ordered a case of each version, and they only sent me one ETB. Ouch! Yeah, that's not cool. That's a heck of an expensive ETB right there if you only got one when you order a case. So you must have ordered the 4, and then they only sent you that much. At least you got your... Yeah, that's exactly it. Glad you got your refund. They're adding ancient and future Pokemons. Trying to catch up with the chat here. Civic, thanks for joining, Civic. Bring back... That would be fun. There's a lot of Pokemon that don't make sense why they're not, without that fairy energy. I mean, Sylveon. Why do we have 2 Psychic type now? Sylveon was a fairy. Made sense. Now we don't have it. We also got fairies running around that, in other sets that don't have any energy. So, yeah, I agree. They need to bring back the fairy energy. That way, if Sylveon has an actual spot, there's a couple other Pokemon that really need that energy, that typing, and now it's gone. It's really weird that they don't have the right typing any longer. MC, K's is answering that. Fairy types were fire. Yes, they were. Mr. Walrus didn't buy any secondary market. Got 15 through Pokemon and made for a good December and November sales. Well, there you go. Yep, if you did that, then you're in really good shape. MC, yeah. I'm anxious to see what SP5 pre-sales prices look like. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how that's going to turn out. It'll be really interesting to see what I don't know, MC, have they announced anything out of that set yet currently? I'm behind. I haven't had time the last 3 weeks to really sit down and dive into it. I was going to look at the new Japanese sets and see if they have anything really out there yet. But yeah, they should be getting the releases of SV5. Our SV5 should be getting released in Japan now, if not near future here. Neb524, thank you for joining. At least Paradox showing signs of life. Opening SV4K, Ancient Roar or Roaring Moon, and was a great experience. Think better than Paldea. Yeah, I go back and forth. I like Paldea though. I don't know. Something keeps drawing me back to Paldea. I think overall the evolutionary line, like the ARs and the SARs inside of that set, are really, really good. I think they look really clean. I like the starter lines in there. I think that they're all very, very nicely done. I like that little storyline that you get with them. So overall, I definitely do like those particular Paldea Evolve for that. They have some really good storylines. Paradox Rift, of course, Groudon's a really nice looking card. And then, of course, Roaring Moon's a really nice. I've got the Iron Valiant now. I really do like that artwork on that card. That Iron Valiant is a really hot looking card also. So I do think that Paradox Rift does have some really, really nice artwork in it also. So overall, I think the one good thing about Paradox Rift over Paldea Evolved is it has playability somewhat to it. So overall, there's Iron Hands EX, and that are a very playable set now and very competitive to the Sword and Shield, Lugia, and Arceus decks. Hey, Garen, thank you for joining. Welcome to the chat. Mr. Wallace, I'd argue it's better to buy sets for more than less. Buying at $75, you can easily use the money for better flips. Once sets go up the extra 25, your spending is negligible. So I'd argue it's better to buy sets for more than less. I guess buying at $75, you can easily use the money for better flips. Once you start going up the extra 25, your spending is negligible. I mean, I don't know. I guess for me, it's always trying to get it at the best price that I can. Let's see. People are quick to park money in the cheapest price, but it's not always the best. And I think that it costs people an opportunity cost. But buying expensive also costs you an opportunity cost because then you're stuck on a long period of time. So there's that argument that, yeah, you could... Personally, I try and wait until it starts to go up. I would rather buy on the upward swing and start buying when I see a bubble, like the dip go down. The market kind of dips and it starts to pick up a little bit. And when it starts picking up, I'll start buying going up. I'd personally rather do that if that's what you're talking about, Mr. Walrus. than trying to buy down into it and try and buying at that bare minimum price. Because chances of you buying the actual lowest price is so minuscule that it's really not all that possible. Personally, I don't like parking money. But like I said, TikTok deals, when I've instantly got value inside them, when you're using 20% off on a booster box, to me, I've already got assessed value inside of there that I could sell that box and get out of it and still make some money. Even on TCG Player, I can still make 7% over the cost of the actual sales and transaction. So once again, to me, there's opportunity cost of holding that stuff, because if I'm really waiting it out, then yes, there's going to be opportunity costs of just sitting on it until you go up in price. When you can get it underneath the lowest price because you're using tactics like coupons, and then I was using my credit card, because if I use PayPal and my credit card, I got another 3% off for using PayPal. So once again, I'm taking 20% off there. I'm taking another 3% with my credit card, and pops your uncle, I'm 23% up on the value of the current market of those things. So I could literally take that box when it got here, put it on TCG Player or eBay, and sell it for 23% gain minus 13. I'm still making 10% by doing absolutely nothing but flipping it around the circle. That's a different story. But if you're just right now watching some of these sets, you're not using any coupons, you're not using any deals, I'd be watching and waiting, and then when you see it hit and start coming up, when you start seeing value go up on these sets, that's when it's probably a time to jump into it. And as we get further away from reprints. Now, do I see them doing a lot of reprints of these first 4 sets of, Pokemon TCG and Scarlet and Violet? Hit or miss. I don't see them doing a ton of reprints on it, especially, Scarlet and Violet, Paldea Evolved, and Obsidian Flame. There's a ton of it sitting around. So even for playability, now Paradox Rift is actually disappearing rather quickly. I think the playability factor of it with Iron Hands inside of it's a good factor. Overall, it's a fun set to open. Iron Valiant's really nice. All those things are looking really well. So I think in general, I think that there's some really good opportunities in there for the playability and all that. So once again, it's a hit or miss on that factor. But I think that the one that, if any of them got a reprint currently, it would definitely be going for Paradox Rift. Might get a reprint. Let's see. Where are we at? People were moving too fast. Andrina, Adrian, do you happen to know what this news about updating distributor pricings are? If so, how do you think it will affect the market? So, I've heard mixed things on the updating distributor pricing. What I have heard is, and I was going to call my friend, but I have heard from my LCS that they are potentially dropping the price of the booster boxes again. So the distributors are going to sell it to the LCSs for a cheaper price, because they do have a lot of them sitting and are not really moving all that much. So I think that that's a interesting change, because distributors used to hold the price really good. Now, if that's true, I don't know for sure if that's true or not. That's just what I have heard about it. I don't know if that's true. Once again, if Mason was here, he could probably tell us if that's true or not. But is it going to affect the market? Probably not. It probably won't if they are doing that. Because right now, a lot of LCSs are having to sell them even online for under distributor costs. So they make money on the first release of it, and they make some money up front, but then they end up losing money in the long term. So that's just what I've heard. I was going to call up and find out and talk to my friend and see if that's true or not. So I'll keep you up to date with that what I hear for sure. Definitely Adrian on that part. I FOMO, but the only goes, yeah. Grim the Nerd, I got 12 packs of Paldea to rip. I need a Magikarp. Yes, I still have not pulled a Magikarp. I think that's a really good artwork. I think overall it looks really clean. So, yeah, I definitely want to get that card. I don't know if I'm going to end up buying it, but I definitely think it's something I want to have. MC, Roaring Moon, and Iron Valiant, and the Groudon all look great to me. Yeah, I think they're really good. I think overall the artwork's really good on those. Really clean looking cards. Overall, I think that they're going to do extremely well for the artwork and for the fans in the near future. Neb 524, I like them, but for some reason, the new Roaring Moon and Megby art and ARs were fun. I like both for sure. Yeah, the Magby art is kind of cool. I actually pulled that a couple times. It's a really cool little artwork for sure. Grodon says, yeah, and they're going to iPhone. Well, let's be honest. A lot of these cards are still going to come down. They're still new to print. If they get reprints, it's really going to dive down. But you got to look at the long term on those particular cards. Once again, I don't buy any singles on a set for at least 6 to 8 months after release, just to let the markets kind of cool and settle in. That way you can see what you're looking at. Even if you start looking now at like Paldea Evolved and go back to the original sets, we're starting to see them flatline, and some of them are starting to move up a little bit. Pokemon 151, some of them dropped right away, and now they're starting to recover as that set gets a little bit older. Once again, you know, some of the original ARs and stuff, or IRs, whatever you want to call it, Illustrator Rares, Art Rares, whatever you want to call them, are definitely showing some improvement on those particular sets, like you saw in the top 5 on those. They were pretty much primarily on 151 because they didn't do well at first. They really dropped. Were really low price, and then they just seemed to gain steam, especially like the Squirtle, Wartortle, Ivysaur, Bulbasaur, Charmander, Charmeleon. All of them did really well coming off that bottom, and they are still climbing right now. Let's see. Neb saw it almost went plus 10 on TCG player, so demand coming up. Yep, it is. Darth Rider, that's a good riddle. MC. I do think there's maybe some of the sweet spot in buying those later SS sets now. I've been buying more LO boxes around 120. I agree. Personally, that's where I'm putting a little bit more money into it right now. I'm kind of watching them a little bit, and definitely picking them up. I would rather buy Sword and Shield at this point in time, just because I know, you know, even Danny Phantom, all these guys, you shouldn't be jumping on a train at 130. Well, if you didn't jump on the train before, why would you wait until it goes over 125, 120, 130? Why would you wait any longer? A lot of these sets, even for Sword and Shield, even though they're a little slower, they're going to push them out of Pokemon Center here in the near future. They're going to be getting out of rotation, not this Worlds. I think they got one more Worlds. So then they will be going out of rotation, and when those go out of rotation, Pokemon Center is going to push them out completely regardless. And right now, Pokemon Center is kind of like a cap, like we saw with Chilling Reign. Did you see what happened to Chilling Reign now that it's off of Pokemon Center? Have anybody been watching Chilling Reign again? It was sitting at 140. It went off of Pokemon Center about 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago now. It's up to almost 160. So just by getting rid of the Pokemon Center as a restricting point at that 143.99, Chilling Reign was sitting at around 144, 145 on the secondary market, so it really wasn't surpassing that price. They pulled the cap, and literally that week, you could watch it just shoot right out of there. So, once again, once them get off Pokemon Center, especially, that's going to really loosen up a lot of those to where they're kind of stagnant. You know, Lost Origins, another one. It kind of keeps bouncing up to that 140 and then bounces down to 120, 140, 120, and it kind of keeps doing this reciprocating up and down. But once you get rid of that cap, I don't know if there's anything going to stop that in Brilliant Stars. Both those two sets are really kind of just tapped because of the fact that they're still available on Pokemon Center. So I see a Chilling Reign incident happening with those ones also. So yeah, check out Chilling Reign. Just keep in mind, about 2 weeks ago, it went off of Pokemon Center. They finally sold out on Pokemon Center. And when they did that, the secondary market went up. Let's see. You guys are moving faster than I am, and I'm going to have to call it pretty quick here because it has been an hour already. Time flies when you're having fun. Oh, let's see. Garen, what I thought we were buying high, selling low. Texas. Yeah, that's a business concept. You just lose money all year, and then you don't have to pay taxes. That's the good plan for your business. I almost pulled a trigger on Fusion Strike boxes at 140. But I already bought a bunch at much lower. I think LO at 120 may be a better. Yeah. I would go for, personally, I would sit there and I would go for Lost Origins. I think Lost Origins is definitely going to be an overall hot set. Brilliant Stars is the other one I'd be watching. If you have not bought into Brilliant Stars and it's still sitting about that 140 range, I would probably be looking at it because that and Fusion Strike, though, are probably going to be the next two that will disappear off of Pokemon Center. And that could be a game changer at that point in time. I guess if you're only flipping sealed product, but using the cash to buy singles and grade would generate more. Once pricing go up, it's when it's, yeah. I get that. Yeah, if you're looking at, I mainly talk about sealed on here. I do know that I'm more of a sealed guy. I do some grading. I do some flips like that. Buy some singles, hold singles. I buy collections, break down collections, grade some, sell some. But yeah, I get what you're saying now. If you're looking at it from, you know, the flipping aspect or the cash value on singles and graded cards, then yeah, definitely, and then that is a good idea. For sealed, it's not. You want to try and find that low spot and ride, you know, cost dollar average on your way up. So no, that makes more sense. Let's see. I FOMO. This is a conflict. Yeah, a little bit. There is a difference between a flipper and an investor. I mean, I know some people say that we're the same thing. You could sit here and, you know, try and break this down tit for tat, but in general, I'm not necessarily looking for the quick flip. I'm not trying to sell things extremely fast. I don't mind, you know, I keep things back for long term, and I kind of set price numbers on other things. And if I can get that price value, if I can get that 20, 30% that I'm looking at for things, then I'll sell it. If it happens in 2 years, it happens in 2 years. If it happens in 2 weeks, it happens in 2 weeks. I just play the market based on that factor. I don't necessarily buy things on the quick flip idea. Now these I did buy on the quick flip idea, and I will tell you, I bought these. They were on sale at a hardware store for after Christmas sale for $5.50. These are the Pokemon 151 tins, and they were $5.50 a tin. I bought them all. I bought all 15 they had left. So once again, that is a flip. I will 100% admit it, but why wouldn't you? If you could buy Pokemon tins at $5.50 a piece, and they're selling for $12.99 right now everywhere else, you'd be crazy to pass on it, right? And I could hold them. That's the other option. Just hold on to them. Sit on them for a long time and see what happens. Overall, the tins have been doing extremely well. Let's see. Where are we at? It moved. I lost track of it. What's the most expensive card or iCard graded or raw you ever purchased? What's the most expensive one I've ever purchased? Probably the most expensive one that I've ever purchased. Just trying to think. I really don't purchase a lot of expensive cards. That's the problem. The one that I purchased them, they weren't expensive. Now they're expensive, but they weren't when I purchased them. So I'm trying to think. The most I've probably ever spent on a card is like $200. For my collection is probably like $150, $200. I have bought some singles off of people just for, you know, selling again. I've paid up to $200 for those, but I really don't buy a lot of expensive cards. I just don't. I buy a lot of mid-grade. I can do a lot of damage with staying under that $150 range to $100 range on cards overall. There's some great value down there, and they move a lot fast. Once again, it's that liquidity thing. If you ask me to buy something at $250 a single, I hesitate. I think about it. I analyze it. If you come up to me and say, I got this card for $50, I'll buy it right now. I mean, if I like it and it's enjoyable and something it looks good, I'll buy it instantaneously. I won't even hesitate. So once again, it comes down to that, like booster boxes. Evolving Skies now is getting to the point where I got to think about it. And you're gonna analyze that purchase and that sale, and that's where you get the problem where things become less liquid, more solid when it comes down to investment. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. You guys are getting way ahead of me, and I'm gonna have to call it here in about 4 minutes. So I'm gonna try and jump through some of these and see, because I'm just gonna run out of time otherwise. Let's see. We're here, Mr. Walrus. I think you can do both. iFOMO. My issue is everyone just says buy at the lowest. You can't lose. Yeah, you can always lose or you can get stuck. I never say you can't lose, but if you can get way under market value, it's really hard to lose. If you can get them TikToks and really low values, and yes, you could do well at that point. Let me see. I want to check something real quick. Yeah, I got to figure that out. So somehow on Streamlabs, I can do like they do on StreamYard, where I can actually put your chat like down here in the corner in the center of the screen, what you guys are saying, and I want to figure that out because I'd like to start highlighting some of these when we're discussing them. Anyways, I'd just rather skip the $500 booster box case and use funds to flip. Buying at $600 to $700 would net me more because I kept money flowing 2 to 3 times while the booster box cases went up. Exactly, and that's exactly kind of what I do. Even on the cases themselves, I wait until they start going up in value, and when I see consistent going up, then I start buying them, and then you can cost dollar average out of it. But I can keep that money moving someplace else. There's always something that's moving, and you just got to find it and use it to your advantage. Do you think the 30th anniversary set will bring back Skyridge Neo Genesis Foss? I wish. That would be sweet. But probably not. They're going to stay with Gen 1. No offense, Pokemon's kind of dumb. They should bring all these ones back. Definitely, they're going to stick with Gen 1. Personally, that's just how weird they are. Like I said, I don't know about Fossil, Legendary set. I mean, I don't think Legendary Collection is necessary because that's just base at 3 pretty much. But Neo Genesis through Skyridge, definitely, even in the EX era, the original EX eras would definitely be fun. It'd be really cool to see those. Adrian, if you were to give your opinion on what special feature old sets had that made them stand out, and eventually take off, like Tag Team, Gold Star, do you believe Illustrator Arts are in the same track? I think that alt arts are. A lot of the alt arts are. I also do believe that some of the SARs. So I think the SARs are probably more on it, or if you can get an SAR with a complementary, so like the Pidgey set, or like the Pidgey line, or the 3 starter lines, the Gardevoir line, I think that there's some really good value in those. I think that's probably the one track I like a little bit better, is the whole evolution stages that we're seeing when they have like the 2 or art rares, and then the SAR that complements and makes like a growth line for like the Gardevoir line, the starter line, those kind of things I think will really do well. But yeah, I definitely think that there's some things that'll stand out. I don't think it's going to be all Illustrator Arts. Of course, we're getting so many of them now that they're almost for every Pokemon everywhere. And it could be a good thing. I mean, it gives everybody options, but on the other part, it starts making them less special. Especially art rares, there's so many of them that you start to feel like they're less special. And when things start to feel less special because there's so many of them, that tends to lead to some possible issues to where people don't necessarily see them as valuable, or you'll collect maybe one for your own personal collection because you like that Pokemon, but you're not looking at it as a big collection builder or anything like that. You're not going to pay high dollars for those particular cards. So it'll be interesting to see overall, but I definitely think a lot of the SARs will do really well right now in the Scarlet and Violet era. Alternate arts, of course, in Pokemon back in Scarlet or Sword and Shield, they definitely will be. So we're going to cut it off just so everybody knows. I'm looking to see where we at. So we're going to probably stop right down at iFomo right here because they're talking about anime past that point. So we're going to stop there at iFomo's comment. And then, because like I said, I got to get going. My wife's starting to walk around upstairs, so I know she's done with hers. Let's see. We're going to go Mr. Walrus is where we're at here. Weren't we? So yeah, a lot of those people hold on through. Yep. Yeah. Maybe we'll go a little bit faster. I make it to the live, and he has to come. Let's see. Yeah. Hey, you made it for a long live. I always do 1 hour. I try and keep it at 1 hour, Mr. Walrus. That's just how I roll. That's what I just can do it weekly, 1 live weekly if I do it for about an hour. I'd like to do One Piece, but I'm not passionate about I'm not either. That's my problem with it, I think, more than anything. Is I just don't have the passion for One Piece. I just can't get into the anime either. I've watched it. I just can't seem to grab it as well for whatever reason. I just can't get into it. Let's see. I don't flip sealed products. Not worth it for me. I can wait and sell Yu-Gi-Oh! And other singles in the short-term flip. Yeah, and there's always an opportunity for that. I do some, but not a lot. I usually buy collections and break them out. That's what I do for my quick flipping. And then I buy a collection because there's a specific card I want in it. I'm mainly doing Pokemon, but still do Magic on occasion. Yeah, Flesh and Blood. I usually like Flesh and Blood. I actually played that the other week. We were waiting for a Pokemon tournament, and we were waiting for some people, and we were kind of playing it on the side. And I was actually having a little bit of lot of fun with Flesh and Blood. MTG is no longer worth the time of day. Yeah. I'm on episode 40. I'll catch up in a few years. Jeez, yeah, you're a ways behind there, Mr. Walrus. If you're only on episode 40 of what, or on One Piece. I guess I don't know how far you. If you're on Pokemon, you're way behind on Pokemon. Actually, I think I'm on like episode 100 and something on Dragon Ball right now. I've been rewatching Dragon Ball Z. It's been fun. Brandy is big yikes for me personally. They even managed to screw up DB, and yeah, they did. Bandai is really good at that. Dragon Ball, they had it, man. The Realm of Gods is such a good set for for Dragon Ball Z, and I had really good hopes. I actually have a lot of Realm of Gods stuff that I've collected for that, and then Bandai just completely screwed it up, and I'm waiting for them to do it with One Piece personally. Mr. Walrus, I'm sure I can learn iFOMO. I just want to like it too. I don't want to do it just because of the money. It sounds weird. It sounds as it sounds from Flick. Yeah, I mean that's my biggest thing is that I can't get in behind it, and I can't get into the anime all that strong. Just personally, it's really hard. Like he said, I like Flesh and Blood. I like the art in Flesh and Blood. I think that they have some great chase cards. Been chasing a few of those. And, overall, Dragon Ball Z, when Bandai had Dragon Ball Z and they had that Realm of Gods, I was like, sweet, they finally figured this out. We finally got something good. And then the next set was just junk. And it's like, how did you screw it up? Just do the same thing you did with Realm of Gods and you would have done good. So, like I said, sorry for anybody that skipped. Like I said, I just got to call it quits here for tonight. Like I said, I always try and keep it to an hour on Tuesdays just because, my wife has her live and then we like spending time in the evenings. Then I got to edit tonight for tomorrow's video. I got to finish that. It's recorded. I just got to sit down and do all my fine-tune editing and get that published here tonight around midnight. So got a little bit of work to do on that. So we'll try and get that done. Like I said, I'm going to try. The goal for the channel this year is for sure. I'm going to probably a heavy goal trying to get to about 6,000 subscribers this year. So that's going to take a little bit of work, and I got to get that next video or at least 2 shorts that are doing fairly well this year. So that's going to be one of the commitments for the channel is I'm going to start trying to do 1 more video a week or do 2 more shorts. Like I said, thanks, Mr. Walrus, for definitely joining in. Once again, I always like your conversations. Great. As always, you always have some great takes. You didn't do much trolling this time, which I was actually surprised at, Mr. Walrus. I'm always expecting you to have some good comments to have some fun with. But thanks once again for joining. Greatly appreciated to have you on board. Thanks, Grim the Nerd. Once again, great to see you on board again. I love seeing you on the lives. I like seeing the familiar faces. You guys are great to have online. Great to see you here. Once again, seems like just once a week being consistent seems to be working really well because a lot of you are just showing up knowing that I'm here and we have good conversations. We talk about things, and I'm seeing consistent faces in the chat, which is great. I love to see you guys here, and I love having the conversations. Overall, like I said, hit that like button before you leave. Greatly appreciated to do that. Like I said, I had the poll going the whole time, and it looks like only a couple people were very much bugged by my title. But like I said, I was personally, you got me on so sober hour. Well, that'll do it. Now PK will get you at a not sober hour. Okay. Like I said, the title was just fun. Is it the year of the Charizard? No, of course not. I honestly hope to God it's not. We don't need any more Charizards currently. We need a break from Charizards, but in 2024, I would love to see an EV set. I think an EV set and maybe some new evolutions would be fantastic to have a build on and have a growth in the channel. So once again, thanks Jason for Ruben for joining in, but we're just closing it up for tonight like normal here at just past 9. So, but thanks for joining. Thanks for jumping in. You can rewatch the video. Like I said, it's not the year of the Charizard. It was a complete and total clickbait troll title and thumbnail, but it was fun. I wanted to see what you guys thought. It was kind of a way to put the poll in here and see what you guys thought about it. But overall, thank you guys for joining. Thank you, everybody. The year of the Magic Carp. That would be a good one. What was the other? there was another one up there too. Someone had a really good one. So there's a couple things that they could really use and really build on this year, and I hope they do. So, but yeah, thank you, Jason. Once again, thanks for joining in here at the end. Make sure everybody hits that like button before you leave. Close it up. Yeah, just bad timing. So once again, thank you everybody for joining. As always, greatly appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like button. If you can, share it with someone. Something you can help me out with is sharing this. That's definitely a great way for me to get new videos. I'm going to put it up on Professor Oak's Discord and on mine, of course. And other than that, guys, we will see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.